when Satan is cast to the earth, all hell is going to break loose. Now, you know, these events are not going to happen in the middle of the tribulation. Because chapters 12 and 13 are in the middle of the book of Revelation, a lot of people think these are events that are going to happen down the road. But in reality, some of this stuff is getting ready to happen. Because, listen to this. When I'm going to read some events that are going to unfold after the war in heaven and Satan is cast to the earth. And then I'm going to share a couple of events in chapter 13. And what's interesting about chapter 13 is chapter 13 is almost happening at the same time as chapter 12. It's like you get done talking about one series of events, but then there's overlapping events happening, and that's in chapter 13. So here we go. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. This war in heaven is about to happen, and all hell is going to break loose on the earth. And it says he is going to pursue the woman who produced the male child. Is talking about the nation of Israel. That pursuing is literally he is going to incite war in the Middle East against Israel. I see this as the Psalms 83 war that is going to happen before the 7-year peace is signed. Now, I'll tell you, this is an eye-opener for me. I'm going to continue reading. It says, he pursued the woman. I see this is the Psalms 83 war. Next verse. The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle. You know, the eagle, I understand there's actually an airline in the Middle East, in Israel, that has the symbol of the eagle. We also know that the eagle is symbolic of America. And it's talking about the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle so that she might fly to a place prepared for her. I believe events are going to happen overlapping here that's going to take America down. And there's going to be a great exodus of God's people leaving America, flying to Israel to a safe place. So this is all part of this sequence. It says, fly to the place prepared for her in the desert, where she would be taken care of for time, times, and half a time. 3.5 years. Can you imagine Psalms 83 war? The war comes to an end. Devastation in America. The Israelites all over the world going to Israel, a safe place. And at the end of the Psalms 83 war, nuclear bombs have been discharged in the Middle East. Damascus is destroyed. The Middle East is crying for peace. And they're given a 7-year peace, but it's really only 3.5 years because it's broken in the middle. So what does it say here? It says, a place of safety in the desert, and for time, times, and half a time. 3.5 years. And it says, going down a little further, it says, then the dragon. Now, can you imagine Satan really is upset that Israel has got 3.5 years of peace, or even a 7-year signed peace. So it says, for time, times, and half a time out of the serpent's reach. For 3.5 years, Satan can't touch Israel. But during that 3.5 years, Satan is going to turn against the church. War on the saints. And it's listed right here. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to make war against the rest of her offspring, those who obey God's commandments and hold to the testimony of Jesus. Those are the Christians. So during the 3.5 years of peace that will be signed after the Psalms 83 war, when Israel is protected, Satan is turning his attention to go after the Christians for that 3.5 year period. And what does Daniel say? War on the saints for time, times, and half a time. And what does it say in Revelation? 42 months, war on the saints, and the saints would be conquered. Well, it's all right here in these verses. And this brings us to the end of chapter 12, and then going into chapter 13. If you study this, you realize chapter 13 is literally happening at the same time as what I just described. And how does chapter 13 start? It says, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea, had 10 horns, 7 heads, and 10 crowns. This is the forming of the beast government. So here we're talking about entering a time where Satan is cast to the earth. He's going to incite war against Israel. Psalms 83 war. There's going to be a peace treaty signed. And Satan can no longer go after Israel, but he turns his attention to the saints. A collapse of the governments of the world that would literally lead to the Jews leaving America on the wings of an eagle to go to a safe place in Israel. All of the pieces are coming together. 10 nations, the 10 region beast government formed in Revelation 13:1. And then go down a little bit further, and what does it say? One of the heads of the beast seemed to have a fatal wound, and the wound had been healed, and the whole world was astonished and followed the beast. Literally, we're seeing an outline from the time that Satan is cast to the earth and all hell breaks loose. All of these events are literally going to start unfolding simultaneously.